Alex, a 2-2 draw at Wythenshawe Town today. It's fair to say it was a game full of lots and lots of incidents today. I suppose the one thing to take away from it is we weren't great in the first half, but you go in with 9 men, go and snatch an equaliser in that sort of fashion is something to be pleased with today.
Yeah. Getting a point, getting a point from the position that we're in is a good point. I think it's important we don't get carried away with it though, in the sense that as performance weren't good enough, first half especially. But to get the point in the fashion that we did, finally, I think hopefully you'd like to think that the football gods have changed with a couple of goals that we played, a couple of goals we scored today, and we probably needed it. That's what we needed. We needed something to make us kick us into life, which is really frustrating because we've had such a good sort of training week and a decent performance last week. A decent performance for a while, really, in reality. So it's quite hard to really to understand where that first half's come from. But yeah, it's a good way to get a point.
And 2 goals today for Jack Marrow, something that he doesn't always crop up with, but 2 really important goals as well. And I'm pretty sure he'll probably claim the first one was a worldie as well.
Yeah. I mean, but finally, I think we got Jack into a position that we want him. He received the ball in an area that we want him to receive the ball. We didn't do that first half. We sort of we just didn't circulate the ball as well as what we wanted to do. We had a game plan that he's got the ball in a position that we want him to have the ball. And then he's obviously put a ball into a box and it could happen. And it has happened. So, yeah, the second goal, it's a goal from a set piece, and that's been missing all season. Just no two ways around it. It's
good ball from Callum.
Yeah, superb. Really clever. It'd have been easy to just float one in, but he's gone low and we've managed to get one on, managed to nab it in. But we need to be better, Nathan. There's no two ways around it. We have to impose ourselves on games a lot more. And not concede the goals that we have. I mean, the first one again is probably a bit of a freak goal. The wind's helped it out to go. It was going in anyway. Isaac's just sort of tried to clear it offline. So to score near enough direct from a corner probably does tell you where we're at a little bit at the moment. I don't think Finn's had much to save. They had a really good chance where we didn't track a runner.
Yeah.
But we were so far off it in that first half. We were miles off the pace of the game. We were miles off men. We allowed players that play for Wythenshawe to work their way into a game, and you can't do that. You can't. So it was really frustrating, but the positive reaction from half time, managed to get a point.
Game sort of hinges as well on probably a 30-second spell in the second half. So ball comes into Reece Webb-Foster in the box. We were stood next to it. He gets pushed in the box. Referee doesn't give a penalty. Ball gets cleared. Isaac challenges for a ball. Referee gives a foul, sort of what didn't look like he was going to do anything, and then after quite a few complaints, he then booked Isaac and then sent him off. And that sort of changes the game completely.
Yeah, to be honest, I didn't see the Reece one clear enough to even understand whether or not it were a pen, so I'm not entirely sure. I think the second yellow for Isaac's incredibly harsh, considering some of the other tackles that went in from other people on second yellows. I think he's listened to a shout from their bench. Their bench shouted at one point that he's elbowed someone, he's done this, he's done that, he's made a couple of things up, and the refs probably listened to that and thought, yeah, I'm going to book him. I've just been in and spent 15 minutes with ref and asked him a couple of questions, and I didn't. To be honest with you, I think he knows he messed up for that second yellow. It definitely weren't a yellow.
And there's quite a few incidents going on in the game today as well. I think the ref got quite a bit of criticism. A lot of play acting, potentially. I'm not an expert, but it looked like play acting probably from the first whistle in the second half all the way through, from trying to kill some time. It didn't feel like the ball was in play for a long time in that second half. But, I mean, the flip side of it is that all that time added on has probably helped us get that second goal. So, But is it frustrating when that's happening and, we're all here to play football and it wasn't really a very good football match for someone to watch apart from the goals today?
Look, Chris Wilcock is a very experienced manager. They've got some really good experience. I'm not going to hammer aside for playing the game. It's the game. The important bit is when it does get time wasted and does get to a point is that it's dealt with. Look, it weren't dealt with in any way, shape or form. I hope keeper's all right because I think he's gone down a few times. But listen, I'm not going to I'm not going to berate someone for doing that. They're fighting for lives, aren't they? They need wins. They need stuff like that.
I think the frustration, though, I've misworded the question, but I think the frustration is they haven't got a physio on the bench, and a
Yeah.
couple of times the player's gone down for a minute. There's no physio on the keeper. A player's come on with a physio box and
Yeah.
pretended to pour water on his shin, but for the other ones, because the physio's not come on, the refs then allowed him, despite the minute break, has allowed them to carry on with 11 men, which has got to be frustrating, especially in the light of Sean and Shep both getting pretty nasty tackles, and referee telling them to get up. I think that was probably the most frustrating bit.
I think it was. I think there were a difference in. I think there were a difference in communication. Certain players, so the one you're alluding to, I've just asked the referee about that. He got treated enough that he could stay on the pitch. He didn't get treated, sorry, but he could stay on the pitch for long enough. I think he was down for a minute and a half, something like that. Whereas Shep's gone down with a genuine injury. We'd have to sub him off sort of 2 minutes later, and the refs told him to get up. But I don't want to get focused on it. The ref, I really don't. I think we weren't good enough first half. There's no two ways around it. We've got away. We won in the sense of the goal at 95th or 94th, whatever it was. And we need to definitely defend both goals better. I think Leesy's. I'll have to watch it back. I think he were offside. The runner that got into the box, I'd be surprised if he's run enough to stay onside. So we need to look at ourselves internally and realise that we need to be better in bigger moments, but also bigger and realise that we can't let frustrations happen. Wythenshawe have a very similar start to us. We know that points are important. They know points are important. They've got themselves a lead and they've held on to the point. Tried to hold on to the 3 points. I think one thing we need to try and do is just make sure that we start games better, miles better. We conceded in the 50 seconds last week, and we've just not come out of the blocks today for some reason. I'm not entirely sure why. But we just need to be better.
On the plus side, I think we've had quite a few 1-0s this year where we've sort of huffed and puffed, but there was a lot more urgency to go and get the goal, and we do get it. So you've got to be pleased that we've got ourselves back into the game twice today, where in the rest of the season we've probably not done that, and we've not found a way to get past someone.
Yeah, no, look, we've come from behind twice away from home. We've had a really good start away from home this season as well. It's important to recognise that the point return that we've got away from home is decent. It's probably, if you were to average it out over a season, it's higher average than what you want. We know that we need to turn around the points at home. That's what we need to sort of do. Yeah. So there's some positives within that. It's really good that Mason got 80 minutes. Yeah. It's good that Shep looked strong until he sort of had the injury. It's good that Jack Marrow's got on the score sheet a couple of times. I thought there was lots of positives with it. We just need to apply ourselves. We can't have 45 minutes where we're not.
No.
Because all that then allowed Wythenshawe to do was to then have a 25-minute period in the second half where they wanted the ball out of play enough time. So, it's part and parcel of it. We're not far off. As much as what I say, we're not far off. I'm just a bit. The slight concern today is the fact that first 45 minutes where I thought we were going to come out a lot different. And there were a couple of direct instructions on certain individuals on their side that we wanted to impact on, and we didn't do it, and that allowed them to get in it. So we all need to look at each other. We all need to look at ourselves for better starts, really.
A bit of movement this week, so obviously we haven't announced it because he signed just yesterday, but Callum Stringer has joined, and obviously big impact today in terms of getting a really good ball in for the goal. And are we expecting any more in or out?
So there'll be. I'm hopeful that there'll be another one in for next week, all being well. Possibly another. I don't know. I think we're 2 suspended next week now. That's the minimum. We've got a couple of lads that are carrying knocks as well, so we need to assess how they go. So you might have gone from having loads of players to not many players, and it happens. Thought Callum done well when he come on. Thought we brought him on because thought Mason had done really well, but their outlet was going to be the left back, who was going to cause bother, and Callum's come on and sort of nullified that, and then really, really clever thinking for the goal. So I do think that'll be a bonus for us, and hopefully we can get 1 or 2 more in.
And we look ahead to Sporting Calcer hopefully next weekend. Obviously the game's been abandoned today, so I'm not really sure what's happening with that, but assuming that game's on, another tough game at home, but now's the time to sort of turn around that home form and
Yeah,
start picking up points at home.
yeah, it is massively. Yeah, we need to turn it around. There's no two ways around it. We need to impose ourselves at home. We need to make sure that it is the tough place that it is. We need to make sure that we apply ourselves and we turn up and we show with the same fight and desire that we showed for large parts of last week and the week before, but for the second half of today. We can't. We're not a 45-minute side. We're a 90-minute side, and we just need to demonstrate that. So, fill the park end, have a beer with mates, come on down, and hopefully we can get ourselves 3 points.
Thanks, Alex.
Cheers, Nathan.